My name's Trevor Cole. I've lived in Texas for 8 years. I've been a part of CrossRoads for 7 years, and I've been a follower of Christ for about 4 years. I was born in Ohio with 2 older brothers. We lived in a small neighborhood where each house had its own job, as in my house had a deep freezer, so we always had popsicles, and some houses did bonfires and sleepovers. Childhood there was pretty fun. It was weird having 2 way older brothers because I'm the youngest by about 8 years. The first time I ever went to a church was probably when I was about 7 years old. The kids in the neighborhood took me to their church, and that was the first time I've ever been introduced to Christ. It was a fairly large church, which was very imposing to me because I've never been to that big of an area before. So it was a little nerve-wracking, but I went because it was fun and I had friends there. A couple of years later, my dad's job required us to move to Iowa, but the hard part about that was we left my 2 older brothers there, and it was just me and my mom and dad who moved to Iowa. And so I went from a neighborhood full of friends and brothers to Iowa in a 2-bedroom apartment with just my parents. So we moved to Texas about halfway through the school year, and so I started about in October for my last year of elementary school. And it was odd because I was the new kid and I just moved in and everybody already settled in, and so once again I started another life with knowing nobody, having no friends, and it was tough. A couple years go by and somebody at my apartments, whose name was Michael, said, "Hey, you want to come to the church I played music at, and afterwards we do an event?" And I was excited, but also scared because the only other time I had church was in a big, large church with a bunch of people, and it made me anxious. So I went to CrossRoads with Michael, and afterwards we did the event, and I had a lot of fun, and I wanted to come again, which is like the first time I've ever personally wanted to come back to a church.
After being with CrossRoads for a little bit at this time, an opportunity came along, and Michael invited me to go to the church camp that we always go to. Falls Creek was what it was called, and I wanted to go because CrossRoads was fun, and I've never been to either a church camp or camping period. It was very anxious though, because it was, again, like I said, first time, didn't know what I was going to expect. But showing up there was honestly breathtaking, just seeing everybody being there for one reason, to follow and to be with Christ, was shocking because I've never seen that before.
It moved me to the point where I got saved.
So, coming home from church camp, being a new believer, finding this nurturing part of me, I started freshman year of high school. So in freshman year, I started playing drums in the jazz band, which was fun because it was something new I learned, and music started connecting to me, started being an impactful part in me, which got Michael to make me play drums in the church band that they have, which, I mean, I got to play more drums, why not? I had fun, learned new music. Playing drums in the jazz band at school and in church brought joy and a focus in my life of loving music. But at the same time, I was in 2 back-to-back relationships that just mentally and emotionally broke me inside as a person, to the point where certain days I just felt like giving up. Playing drums in the church with Michael and the worship team brought a purpose in my life that now knowing was God keeping me coming Sundays, keeping me hearing His word, keeping me from losing myself too far. I'm so thankful for Michael for inviting me to this church, for me being able to bring my parents here, that 8 years later, my family's still part of the CrossRoads family, and we love it here.
And I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence